In this demo, we want to write a program to check whether a number can be expressed as sum of two prime numbers or not. So we need to declare this integer value and ask user to input this number. Now we can declare this function sum of two primes and pass this value as an argument. The output of this function is simply true or false. So we can just print the output. And now let's define the function. The return type is Boolean. The function name is sum of two primes. We need a for loop here, and since 1 is not a prime number, we are gonna start from 2, and we are gonna iterate up to n divided by 2. For each iteration, we need to check if the number is prime or not. If this number is prime, we also need to check if its complement is prime or not. So we are gonna check this here, n minus I. And if both of them were prime, we are gonna return true. Otherwise, we are gonna return false. Now we need to develop this isPrime function. And since we are calling this function inside sum of two primes function, we need to put the definition before this function. So the output of this function is Boolean as well. We never call this function with 0 and 1, but if we want to have a complete isPrime function, we can just include these cases. If n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1, we need to return false. Now we need to check if a given number is prime or not. So we are gonna iterate starting from I is equal to 2 and continue until I is smaller than or equal to n over 2. And for each of these numbers, if n mod I is equal to 0, which means that n is divisible by this number, it means that it's not a prime number, so we are gonna return false. Otherwise, we are gonna return true. Let's try it with 8. We can express 8 as sum of two prime numbers, but if you want to have numbers as well, we can just declare these two prime 1, prime 2, and pass them to this function. So we are gonna define them as pass by reference values. And we are gonna update them if we find out that we can write this number as the sum of two prime numbers. So here we need to just check if the output is true. We are gonna print prime 1 prime 2 like this. So now we can have those two numbers. And if we couldn't write, we're just gonna output a message. So let's try with 12. And now with 2.